We can now bring in Dr. Mircea Sofonea, Senior Lecturer in Epidemiology and the Evolution of Infectious Diseases at the University of Montpellier. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. What announcements would you like to see from the Prime Minister later on today to help contain the spread of COVID-19 as France eases the lockdown in place?
Well, the problem is that after the lockdown will be raised after May 11th, we will have trouble to see if the new measures that are deployed to control the epidemic will be enough and efficient enough, and we have to wait until the end of May to see the indicator we are we pay attention to, that is the reproduction number, to be under than 1, and if not, then the governor will have to change a bit the strategy.
You know, Germany has eased its lockdown measures in place, and already today the reproduction rate is 1. And the number, from what I understand, the health services in Germany need is it to be below 1 for them to, really have a handle on the situation. So it's inevitable that number is going to rise once, things start to move, people get back on public transport, etc.
Yeah, so inevitably the reproduction number will raise, but the one threshold is very important, because if the reproduction number is greater than 1, then the epidemic can go out of control. If not, if the new measures are not deployed rapidly. So one strategy would be then to lock down again and use what is called adaptive lockdown, or stop and go. But of course, what we estimate is that if the potential infectious contacts are doubled after the lockdown compared to the lockdown situation, then the epidemic can go back again with a second wave that could be potentially greater than the first one.
What's worrying for me, because I've been talking about coronavirus for a couple of months now, is that every time it seems that this virus is evolving, or we get to know more about the virus, because at the start of the outbreak we said it was mainly people who were elderly, who had underlying symptoms, but nowadays we're even young healthy people are susceptible of getting stroke. So are we still learning about COVID-19?
Yeah, for sure. Every virus, every pathogen can evolve. That wouldn't be the main thing here. Is that statistically, when an epidemic is growing, then exponentially it contaminates more and more people. You see rare events occurring, and especially young people without underlying pathologies that can develop complications, respiratory complications, and even fatality. So this is not uncommon, and the evolution of COVID-19 wouldn't be the first argument here, rather than the statistical effect of such a big contamination, big incidence.
Now, one group of scientists in the United States has put out a possible treatment, for COVID-19, and that would involve the use of drugs used to treat Ebola, but with significantly higher doses. What do you know about that?
Well, we have to be careful, because yes, treating Ebola with some kind of analogs of nucleotide is an interesting way. This is an antiviral treatment, but rather other leads can be explored. As such, the one found developed here. The one that made good results in Paris. That is to lower the immune response, because the problem is that you have two ways, in fact, of treating this disease: either to lower the viral load in the patient, but this has to be done quite rapidly, quite early in the disease and to great doses, or then to lower the immune response that actually causes the complications to the lungs.
Okay, Doctor.
So both ways are interesting. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens once we get more details from the Prime Minister later on today, and we'll see how France copes with that. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.